And welcome to Columbus, folks, the world-famous Ohio State Buckeyes.
Y'all Scarlet Unis, I think they'll sweet.
Ohio State has a new 5-star recruit that honestly has kind of been floating under the radar, and he recently delivered a spectacular performance on ESPN's nationally televised high school football showcase last Saturday that reminded everyone why the Buckeyes locked him down early in the recruiting process. Right now he plays for a top-ranked Mater Dei, who went up against the number 6 St. Thomas Aquinas in the Broward County National High School Football Showcase. I think I said all that right. I probably botched one of the words, but Henry nonetheless showcased exactly why he's considered one of the most elite prospects in the entire country. The numbers from his performance really were nothing short of extraordinary. 4 catches for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns, all accumulated in just the first half of the game. To me, these type of statistics represent more than just numbers on a stat sheet. It shows that the future of Ohio State receivers beyond Jeremiah Smith is super bright. And next year, both guys may actually get to play together for a little bit. Again, I know this isn't about next year, especially with Texas coming up in just a few days, but man is it exciting to know who is coming through the pipeline in the future. The play from the game that everyone is talking about came early in the second quarter when he caught a deep ball falling into the end zone. It was one of those plays that just makes you shake your head and realize that Ohio State is a wide receiver university, despite what Jackson Smith and Jigba says. Nah, I'm just kidding. All love to him. He was a great receiver. Anyways, getting back on track though, to Chris Henry, I really think one of the main reasons why he is such a big signing is because he quiets some of the noise that has been created over this offseason, with the Buckeyes missing out on a few 5-stars they were targeting, or guys announcing they are going elsewhere. At the end of the day, the Buckeyes have one of the premier receivers in the 2026 class, and he is going to get a chance to come through a system filled with star talent all around him. Really, it will be the perfect situation to thrive in. Chris Henry ultimately is just showing us that this run of wide receivers is nowhere near close to being over. So real quick, I want to take you guys back over the last decade just for fun, kind of take you down memory lane to look at what all-time great receivers the Buckeyes have had. You can go back to around 2014 and remember KJ Hill and Michael Thomas. Thomas at one point was an absolute stud in the NFL for the Saints. He was like a top 5 pick year in and year out in fantasy. Then there was Paris Campbell. Then you look at the more recent guys, there's Jackson Smith and Jigba, JSN, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr. He kind of got overshadowed by Jeremiah Smith, but Marvin truly was and is one of the greatest receivers you will ever see. I know Gus Johnson loved him, Maserati Marv, and then there's Emeka Egbuka, who just got drafted to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and there's reports about how explosive he's been for them through the camp part of the offseason. I also can't forget about scary Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Devin Smith. There are so many receivers that have come through Ohio State that have gone on even further to do great things in the NFL. It's really hard to keep track of everyone, and I'm sure I'll get railed in the comments for somebody that I forgot, but yeah, man, it's just, there's been so much talent. Anyways, moving on, now I have to talk roster and starting lineup, because the Texas game, crazy enough, is literally just days away at this point. The season really snuck up on us fast. It feels like just yesterday I was talking about offseason news and how the team was shaping up, but now we're here, it's go time. It's time to take down the Longhorns once again. So starting at quarterback, Ryan Day last week obviously announced that Julian Sayin is going to be the starter. We all expected it to happen, but still, it was not like official, and Lincoln Kienholz did get a fair shot to compete. And honestly, you've heard me say this before, but I think the offseason competition was great for the progression of both guys. But Julian, man, if you just watch the football leave his hands, you can tell he's got it. And the it factor is definitely a real thing. He looks like he belongs out there, and I think he is the best guy to get the ball out to Jeremiah Smith, whether it's a deep ball or a crossing route. And I think that right there is the main thing that determined who would be the starter, and that is who can get the ball to Smith the best. I do expect for Julian to be a bit nervous because he has really never played meaningful snaps. This is basically his first real start. But at this point, we should all know who Julian Sayin is. We may see a few throws where he is kind of holding himself back because he's nervous, but I think once the Buckeyes and Ryan Day get the run game going, that's going to allow him to ease into the game, that's going to open up the offense, and that's going to be when he plays a lot looser and will make the throws we expect him to make and are accustomed to. And let's take a look at what the Buckeyes are really working with in the backfield. Obviously, obviously by now, if you've been watching my videos or just paying attention to what has been going on over the offseason, you know the two running backs to look out for are CJ Donaldson from West Virginia and James Peoples. Peoples has actually been getting compared a lot to J.K. Dobbins, so take what you want from that. And then Donaldson is a guy that can do it all. He used to be a little bit heavier than he is now, same with Peoples, and he was a lot more like a Judkins, but I'm excited to see what he can do now that both he and Peoples shed some weight and are a lot more elusive and can just get out in space and make plays faster. And we all know what the most important part of every running game is. It's the offensive line. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Austin Sierraveld won the left tackle position by a landslide. He is just a unit out there, and I think he is the perfect fit to protect Julian Sayin at one of the most important positions of an offense, protecting that blind side. Luke Montgomery is going to be your left guard. He's fully qualified for the role. Carson Hinzman is going to be the center. And then on the right side of the line, you got Tiger Shabola, who's going to be at right guard, and you knew since the beginning that he was going to be the starter there. Really the only open spot has been right tackle, but the nod is going to go to Phillip Daniels, the product of Minnesota. He's been in the Big Ten. He's mean, he's big, he's nasty. When I think of old school Big Ten football like Wisconsin versus Michigan State in the snow or some scenario like that, Phillip Daniels fits that mold. Anyways, moving on, now let's talk about the defense. And defensive line has been, you name it, Chase Young, the Bosa brothers, Jack Sawyer. There have been so many elite level D linemen to come through Ohio State, and this year is no different. It starts with Kenyatta Jackson out on the edge. He is supposed to be a first round level talent. Obviously the Buckeyes did. Outside of Kenyatta, there is Caden Curry and Bo Jackson. Obviously Hicks is a guy that Buckeyes fans have been waiting on to finally break out. Also for defensive tackle inside, Edric Houston is a star in the making. He kind of had an injury scare earlier in the offseason that a lot of people overreacted to, but him being paired with Caden McDonald, man, this defensive line is going to be scary, and they are going to do some great things this year. Now moving on to the secondary, I mean, come on now, the talent does not stop, because as I've said many times, Ohio State has the best overall offensive player in college football in Jeremiah Smith, and they have the best overall defensive player in college football as well. Backfield, he's willing to be involved in and make every play. He can take on receivers, he can blitz and make tackles in the backfield, he can make tackles in open space. He's a future capable to hold their own, and they're going to be tested right away against Texas. Then there's Lorenzo Styles, who is actually Sonny Styles' brother. He's going to be at nickel. Lorenzo actually began his career as a wide receiver for Notre Dame, but now here we are. We got a blood duo on the defensive side of the ball, and I just can't wait to watch it. All in all, I think the Buckeyes have an absolutely loaded roster, and the future is bright as well with Chris Henry Jr. coming in. Man, what a time it is to be a Buckeyes fan. We get to watch this team open things up against Texas at the Shoe in Lee Corso's final game day. We get to watch a team with nothing to lose that is going to play loose and aggressive, and we get to see a new quarterback that could be one of the best we have seen in a long, long time. That's really all I have for this video though. Let me know in the comments below how you're feeling about this team. If you have any thoughts about Chris Henry, if you have any thoughts about the roster and what you expect for the Buckeyes to do this season. There really is just unlimited things to talk about right now. We are at that point in the year, but I am just so excited for Texas. I do expect them to win that game, but nonetheless, it should be a fun environment. I expect for it to be electric for Lee Corso's final game day. But again, that's all I got. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this one, and until next time, I will see you all later.